recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a full stack software engineer. And this person has stated that I've been applying as soon as the job postings go live. Good, that's what you want to do. The faster you apply, the better your chances. You want to be within the first 100 applicants, otherwise you're probably not going to get seen. And mainly on LinkedIn and Indeed, those are the two main job boards besides, and I hate saying this, Craigslist. LinkedIn, Indeed, and Craigslist are the biggest job boards around. Hurts my soul to say that. I've been job searching for the past 3 months, and it's taken me over 150 applications to get a single interview. I graduate in June, but I'm available for full-time. Have even started posting on LinkedIn to get more attention. That usually doesn't work. But let's see what I can find in this. So this resume gets nothing. So we know this is a bad resume, and because it takes over 150 applications to get a single interview. When people use my method, they get 1 in 7. Which is 1 application, or 7 applications to 1 interview. So for a full stack software engineer, what we need is degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. If you do not have TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, you are going to get rejected. But Lee, everybody has it. Why would you? It does not matter. It does not matter. It does not matter if everybody has it. It does not matter if nobody has it. What matters is almost every single full stack job posting is asking for TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Is TypeScript the same as blank? Yeah, but it doesn't matter. If they're asking for it, you need to put it on. So, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, RESTful APIs or REST APIs, SQL, any, Cloud, AWS, GCP, Azure, Backend, Python, C#.NET or Java, React, React.js, Angular, Node.js, Vue.js, DevOps, CI/CD, Agile, and Git, and a couple of other stuff as a nice to have. So, can I find this in 20 seconds, which is all the time recruiters have? No, because it takes them over 150 applications to get a single interview. So, let's see what I can find, and go. Manage 2 enterprise web apps with, okay, what services? Redesign a commercial invoice using, this is a hot dog. Led the Angular. This is irrelevant. Automated build times with irrelevant. This is a hot dog. Built on Microsoft Teams and time. So, yeah, that is a decline. What did I find? I found ASP.NET, Angular, and SQL. Cool. I did not see TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. You were applying for front end. Now, if you were applying for a C#.NET dev, I could get that up. Maybe you meet the qualifications for that. I'm looking at that. And yeah, you actually probably meet the qualifications for a back-end C#.NET dev, but I don't even see, and I just don't see enough of it. And remember, the role you're applying to is specific. If you have a amazing full stack resume and you apply to an only back end position, you're probably going to get rejected. You need to have a resume tailored to each job title you apply to. So, what went wrong with this resume? First off, a couple of things that are not just about the bullet points, which I wanted to note before I forget. Formatting's bad. You want to use this formatting. This is my formatting. It works the best. This is how you do it. But even if you don't use my formatting, which formatting is 30% of your grade essentially, you never ever want to do what this person did right here. This is a very big red flag anytime anybody ever does this, is if you put dates of employment without the months. Now, if you have 15 years experience at the same job, yeah, you can get away with not putting the months. But anything other than that, you need to put the months on your dates of employment. This is absolutely critical because this could be from 2023 December to January 2024, which is shorter than normal for an intern. Most internships are 3 months. So that's a big problem. And then we go down to the bullet points, and the problem is it's filled with hot dogs. So I want you to imagine that you are hungry and you go to a restaurant and you're like, I'd like a cheeseburger with pickles. So the person takes your order, they go back, and they bring you a hot dog with cheese and pickles. And they say, here's your cheeseburger. And you're like, excuse me, this is a hot dog with cheese and pickles. I wanted a cheeseburger with pickles. And they say, no, this is what you wanted because a hot dog has meat like a hamburger. A hot dog has buns like a hamburger. A hot dog has cheese and pickles canned, just like a hamburger. So thus, when you said you wanted a hamburger, you wanted this hot dog. You would walk away without paying. And that's the exact problem with this resume is redesign a commercial invoice search engine used daily by the logistics team. That's a hot dog. That's not one of these things. Lead migration of Angular. Okay, Angular is something I'm looking for, but not Angular 12 or Angular 15. I'm only looking for Angular. And if JavaScript is different than Java, which it is, one is backend, one is frontend, except sometimes not with some of the JS stuff, then Angular 15 and Angular 12 could be different than Angular. You need to have the exact qualifications they're looking for in that. And modernizing 80 plus components, blah, 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 this doesn't matter either. When you're making your bullet points, you need to be cognizant of how people search for this. And it's not keyword hunting. Everybody says it's keyword hunting. It's not. So a qualification is what we're looking for. And a qualification is one of these, which is a keyword, plus how you used it, which you did say here, plus the non-technical reasons you used it, plus where you used it. And you did not show me that. So even if you had the right keywords, you did not show me the non-technical reason that you did it. Shipping features end-to-end across an agile team. Redesign a commercial invoice search page used daily by the logistics team. Cut search. Why is that relevant? I don't know. It doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Authorize automated test suits covering unit JS, blah, 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 hot dogs. So not only did they not have the right qualifications, because they don't write it right. And that's how you need to write it. Built a Microsoft Teams triage bot that auto-distributed, blah, 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 and eliminating manual. See, actually, this part is fine. The problem is this is the one where you didn't have the keywords in it. This part, bad, because there's nothing in there that I could use. This part actually does show a qualification, which is eliminating manual assignments and saving coordination time. That shows me what you did. Deploy to maintain builds via Bamboo. Don't care about Bamboo. Pipelines hosted on AWS, ensuring reliable text execution. Nope, too technical. And I understand you are now enraged, right? Like, you're like, how could you? How could you? Blah, blah, blah. But this is how it's been going on for like over a decade. This is what happened. The problem, well, not the problem. The reason you were getting jobs before is we were not in a recession. But right now, there's tons of people, and the people that are following this method are the ones that getting interviews. So I need you to delete this because the only things I see are ASP.NET, Angular, SQL, CIC, and AWS. And you did not write them as qualifications either. So they don't even count. You need to write all of you need 75% of these. And if you're going for full stack, you better have TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. I will say sometimes if you have another backend more prominently, you can get away with not having TypeScript, but you need to have JavaScript, HTML, CSS. It does not matter if one means the other. It does not matter how basic or boring it is. It matters that you put it in because they want it. If somebody on a job description is saying, I want you to be able to describe a banana to me, cool, that better be in your resume of how you described a banana and the business reasons that you did it. It doesn't matter how ridiculous it is. It matters that it's what they're asking for. And right now, as we are in a recession, your bargaining power as a candidate is very low, which I don't like. Clarify, I make more money in a better economy. I don't like this either. I'm not sitting here being like, haha, look at, no, I make more money in a better economy. So that's all I can do for this one. And this is why this resume is failing, is the formatting's bad, but more importantly, the bullet points are awful because they do not have what we're actually looking for in a qualification format. So that's all I can do for this one. Before we go to the next resume, thank you all for subscribing, liking this video, and commenting. And to all of my members who get access to videos a little bit early, thank you very much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. If anybody wants to join, they can click in the link below. And I review these every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and right here on YouTube. So if you ever want your resume reviewed, hop on by then, and let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a successful software engineer intern. They've already secured a software engineer internship for the summer of 2026, but I want to start applying for the fall cycle. I've applied to about 80 software internships with my old and only got 2 interviews and got the offer. I've created a new one using my advice. You've reviewed my cybersecurity one before, and it was terrible to see. So let's see if my software engineer resume is any better. All right. So what we're looking for in an intern is 4 things and 4 things only. 4 things only. 1, degree. B, a basic understanding of whatever it is you're interning for. So in this case, tech stack, language library, SQL Cloud, maybe RESTful APIs. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Android, so I don't have the Android stuff off the top of my head. But I think that would be like Jetpack and MVVM and stuff. The ability to work well with others, and that you can take direction and criticism. So those are the things that I'm looking for. Let's see if I can find it. 20 seconds on the clock. Let's see if their new one is better than their old one, which hopefully it is. Because remember, formatting is like 30% of your grade. You can still fail with bad formatting, and you can still pass with bad formatting. But it does make it easier. So, and... go. Okay, degree, good. Okay, perfect. Collaborated with a team of students to build a native app using Java and Android. Okay, perfect. Participating in weekly agile stand-ups with a teammate and professor. Good. Used Git and GitHub to track code, allowing teams to collaborate. Used AI such a cloud. That's fine. This is not bad. I want to be clear. This is not bad. The thing is, though, you want to condense this a little bit. Like, you don't need 6 bullet points for a project. You wrote these correctly, but remember, the goal is to have a minimum of 3 keywords per bullet point and a maximum of 6. And this has 3, right? Collaborated. Also, don't use the word collaborated. Just say worked, right? Worked with a team of students is a lot better than collaborated. So this does have 3, but then this has 2, which is agile could be 1, and feedback, which is takes direction, criticism, so we need 1 more. Git and GitHub can be good, but again, that's kind of 2. Used AI tools, this is 1. Used ROM, I don't think I'd need. Room, I don't think I need. SQL, I would, but that's 1. And wrote JUnit and Mockito. I don't know if those are useful. That might be an Android-specific one, and I don't want to speak on it. That one might or might not. But even if those are, 2. So you really just want to combine these. But I will say you wrote them correctly. It's just that you don't need this much, right? Like, you could say, worked with a team of students to build a native Android fitness application using Java, Android, and then we can go down here, Git and GitHub to track changes across the team and receive personalized coaching recommendations. Like, you could probably combine, where did it go? I got no sleep last night, so I'm exhausted. Like, you could combine these 2. I'm fairly certain. And then this can be combined with these. And then you need 1 more sentence. So you should have this as about 3 backs. Projects only should be about 3 bullet points. Actually, if you've been at a job for 5 to 6 years, yeah, 4 or 5 bullet points. But you don't want to use 6 bullet points for this. But again, this does pass. But if you condense it a little bit more, you'll get more interviews. But it's not bad. It does work. So next, resume. This is a resume of a senior accountant / staff accountant. So this person is getting a 1 in 100. They say they're looking for fully remote. They've been using my format for about 2 weeks. They've gotten 1 interview and a couple of inquiries, but not a ton of motion, which I will be honest with you. So like I said, it's a 1 in 7, but if you're trying to go for remote only roles, it's probably going to be closer to a 1 in 30. And if you're trying to go for remote only accountant roles without a CPA, probably going to be 1 in 60, 1 in 70 or so. So this means this resume is probably very good. But like remote roles are that impacted. Like, I don't think people understand how impacted remote roles actually are. So what we're looking for, and again, this is working, it's just not going to be a 1 in 7, is degree, CPA, if you really want that, if you have an accountant, Microsoft Office, Excel, Outlook, manage multiple active projects and deadlines, gap, attention to detail, good communication, and for senior roles, leadership. I need to see that you have hired, fired, coached, trained, performance reviews, led other members, and I need to see how many people you've led. You don't need all of those, because some of those are managers, but I do need to see that you led other people. And I need to see that you did it. It's not take charge. It's not succeeding. It's that you got things done through other people. That's what leadership is you get stuff done through others. So, 20 seconds on the clock. I'm expecting to find most of what I want, but not everything. Let's go. Okay, degree, good. Maybe that's okay. Own month-to-month end close full accounting cycles across multi-entity streaming financial report standing. Okay, meh. Utilize advanced, just say used, Microsoft 365 tools, specifically in Excel, pivot tables, drive process improvements. What was the point of process improvements? Manage multiple deadlines for financial reporting and month-end close, annual audits ad hoc, optimize workflow while exercising attention to detail. You can't just say that. Partnered cross-functionally with internal and external to assure stakeholders ranging from C-suite. That one I like. And time. Again, this is not bad, but why do you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bullet points for a job you've been at for 3 years? And you also are at the same time at this job? This doesn't make sense timeline-wise. So this was part-time. Or was this part-time? You want to make sure your timeline makes sense. Get rid of one of these. Even if you have a gap of a year, it's fine. One of these needs to go. And then if you keep this one, which, again, you had most of what I wanted, it's just you didn't have the non-technical reasons, and you had them way too many. This should be 4, 5 bullet points maximum. Probably 4. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This should end here. And then it should lead into one of these. Or this one should end about here. And then lead into this. Because this is confusing. And again, these are not bad bullet points, but they're too spread out. They're way too spread out. And again, you kind of mentioned the what, which is the keyword at the end. I want you to mention them at the beginning. And a lot of these, like, improved through automation. What does that mean? If you told that to your grandmother, what does that mean? She's not going to understand that. Maybe she is. Maybe your grandmother is a phenomenal accountant that knows this industry inside and out. But mine wouldn't. She was an architect. Was she? Oh, man. I forgot what my grandmother was. Anyway, you need to shrink these, combine these bullet points. Like, why don't you just say used advanced 365 tools, such as Excel, VLOOKUP, pivot, macro tables, to manage multiple deadlines for financial reporting, month-end close, and ad hoc. And then to partner, let's see. Yeah, you could probably combine these 3. These 3 should be combined. And then this one can probably be combined into this one. And then this is just a little face, and then this is a mouth. Rah, that's a little guy. He's angry. He's angry. And then these, are these even relevant? I don't even see any of this that is relevant. It'll probably just work liquidity planning. Yeah, probably these are not relevant. And then we go down to here, and some of this stuff is good. I like this, mentored and trained junior staff. This is a good one, right? Because this shows leadership, this shows gap. I still need one more, right? Remember, it should have 3 per bullet point maximum. What do you mean support leadership? That means nothing. So yeah, I want, it's not bad. It is working, but you need just a little bit more to like actually describe this stuff, because I'm not getting the non-technical reasons and it's too spread out. which is why this is angry. So that next resume. This is a business analyst. What we need for a business analyst is SQL, Tableau, Power BI, industry. There's like 100 different industries. I just need to see that you have experience in whatever it is. So just whatever common tool your industry uses. So like healthcare, it's H17, or like SaaS for software, SDLC for software. Just very common basic thing that makes me know what industry you're in. Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, Outlook, Excel, Advanced Word, Jira, SAP, requirements gathering and documentation, influencing cross-functional from IC to stakeholders and managers. So basically from the bottom of the company to the very top, you need to influence people and proactively solve business problems. Explain complex topics to non-technical people, meet multiple deadlines concurrently, Agile, Scrum, Waterfall. So, this person says, I'm a new grad and my new resume hasn't gotten me anything so far. It's been a week of using it, and is the project section bad? Well, a week is not enough time. We had somebody in chat today apply to a job a month ago, and they got the interview request yesterday. After about 2 to 3 weeks is when you start realizing you need to switch it up. So 1 week is just not high enough of a sample size. So 20 seconds is on the clock. Let's see if they have it. So, and go. Okay, this should be combined with that. This doesn't matter. This shouldn't be here. All right, use SQL, Excel, pivot tables good, and Power BI dashboards. Great, analyze and visualize performance reports, identify trends in IT, and improve solutions. This is too technical. Utilize, don't say utilize, just say used. MS Office and Visio, probably don't need that. To effectively communicate good with non-technical stakeholders by gathering requirements. This is not a good sentence. And led multiple sprints through SDLC. Good, that's industry. Collaborating with internal clients, a bridge between, that one's actually not bad. So this is a case of a person has the what, which is the keywords, but they did not explain them very well. This is no qualifications, but a lot of keywords. So used, perfect. SQL, Excel, good. And Power BI dashboards, create, analyze, and visualize performance reports. You don't need to say this part. Just say create performance reports to identify trends so that we could X, right? To identify IT trends, to identify trends so that we could make more money, so that we could have a better website. But improve solution performance means nothing. That's an incomprehensible word. That only means something to those in the industry, and that's a bad bullet point. Utilize, don't say utilize, just say used. Used, MS Office, that's fine. And Visio, unless this is a Canadian specific one, Visio is probably not there. What you want to effectively communicate, don't say that. You can't say effectively communicate. You can say used MS Office to create documentations to explain to our non-technical stakeholders, what is the rest of this? Potential IT solutions for X. That's how you would write that. Led multiple sprints. See, actually, the more I'm looking at this is mostly a hot dog. No, so throughout SDLC, good. Within an agile setting, good. Don't say collaborating. Collaborating is the worst word. Setting with internal clients from cross-functional teams, acting as the bridge between developers and stakeholders. To what? To what? Why were you the bridge? Were you getting them coffee orders? I don't know. Why were you bridging? You need to tell me why you bridged. And across all of these, you do not tell me the non-technical reason. Serge is the subject matter expert on... See, you already mentioned cross-functional here. You don't need to mention it again here, although I think it's actually better here. On 3... okay, that's an okay number. 3 cross-functional projects concurrently using Gantt charts. I don't think I care about that. And Azure DevOps. Maybe. That maybe you want Azure DevOps. Typically, you want Azure or DevOps. You don't want to just say Azure DevOps. So you want to say Azure, like, comma, DevOps. To maintain the timeline. What do you mean maintain the timeline? Meeting 100% of deadlines in Excel. What's a solution delivery? I don't know. You don't tell me. And don't say meeting 100%. Just say serve the subject matter expert on 3 cross-functional projects using X and Y while meeting all deadlines to X and Y. This is why you're having issues with this, is none of these tell me what you did. Every single one is so incredibly technical that no one's going to be able to understand it in 20 seconds, and that's a problem. And I'm including the hiring manager. I don't give advice only for one person or the other in hiring. I give it for everybody in hiring, because just giving advice for recruiters is a bad advice. So this is my problem, is you have the keywords, but you don't have the qualifications. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board and explain these in a way that you're, again, non-technical grandmother would understand, or grandfather, or sister, or uncle, or cousin, somebody that does not know what any of this is, and you need to do it. Also, you don't need this because you already show that you have it down there. The other thing is this should be wrapped up into here. So these should be combined. If you need to, put in the acronym of your university. So, next, resume. This is a resume of a software engineer intern. This is a 150-to-1 ratio, so this is a bad resume. I've previously asked for a review of my machine learning intern, which is okay. So their machine learning intern one is good. This is not that, which it got a 1 in 40, which is solid. However, my software engineering one has terrible results, and I've landed only online assessments. I'm not sure if it's because the software internships want some front end, and I do not really have that. These are for undergraduate internships. Thank you for doing these again. No worries. Let's see why this is bad and good. So remember, 4 things: normal, knowledge of tech stack, work well with others, takes direction and criticism. So 20 seconds on the clock. That's the wheel of how I pick resumes. You can ignore that. 20 seconds on the clock. And go. Okay, degree, good. What is this? Okay. Built a perception system using Python, C++, and SQL. Street signs. Okay. Followed an agile development bi-weekly using feedback to explaining concepts to team members. Integrated AWS Cloud and RESTful to manage and transfer datasets while using libraries. No business reasons why. Worked with GitHub, followed for DevOps collaborative. Time. You don't have take direction and criticism, the ability to work well with others, nor do you have. You kind of have the basic tech stack. You filled this with a lot of hot dogs, and you don't tell me why. Like, this is a fine sentence. I think this is fine. I'd prefer, is there anything else I want with that? Maybe to switch C++ to something else. Not often are software engineering internships looking for C++. It's not that it doesn't exist. Like, there are embedded engineers and stuff, but usually they're looking for C# rather than C++ if they're looking for this. Again, I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying it's not as common. But I like how you wrote this, right? Like, you built a perception system using Python, SQL to identify obstacles and street signs in foggy environments to be able to safe driving under limited visibility. That is exactly how you need to write a non-technical reason. Then you kind of have this part, which is followed in agile. Okay. Development process through bi-weekly meetings. All right. That one does kind of count. Using feedback to refine the system while explaining machine learning concepts to team members. We're not really looking for machine learning that much. We're looking for software, and it's a little light on it. And I do like this, right, with an advisor using their feedback to refine this. But what system? Like, I want a little bit more than this, and explaining ML concepts to team members. It's not really what I'm looking for as much. Because remember, like, a lot of interns say, oh, you need to be leaders and everything. But, like, you're there to follow. You're not going to be explaining machine learning concepts to people on that team. Unless you're leading other interns, which you're not. So, the first part is okay. but I still want you to write it a little bit weird, a little bit differently. I'm trying to think of how to do it because it's off, right? I would rather you just say met bi-weekly with my advisor using their feedback to in an agile development process to refine our X so we could Y. Integrated cloud, AWS good, and RESTful API to manage while using libraries to efficient data. You did not tell me the non-technical reason. Again, the keywords are there, but you need the non-technical reasons. This is why we're not just keyword hunting. Worked in a Linux environment using GitHub for version control, following CD DevOps for collaborative development. You can't just say collaborative and like you got to tell me a little bit more. This is kind of my it's like not terrible, but I just need a little bit more here. Like a little bit more of this, a little bit more of how you work together with others, a little bit more about what you did non-technically. And is there a work together as a team? There's really not. I also don't have a good you work together as a team. This does show that you took direction and criticism, but this is not working as a team. This is you following agile development processes to take direction and criticism, which is what I'm looking for, but it's not all that I'm looking for. So I'd like you to go back a little bit and do more, put more of this stuff in about how you did it. And are you missing anything technically? RESTful APIs. I am missing. No, you have it right there. Yeah. You're not really fully describing it. And again, you should probably just do this in 3 bullet points. Projects don't need 4 bullet points. You can put built a, let's see, identification system using Python, SQL, RESTful APIs, and an AWS environment to identify obstacles and street signs in a foggy environment to enable safe driving under limited visibility. Then the next one can be met bi-weekly with my advisor using their feedback to refine the ML systems and an agile development process where I, X, and Y. Like you could combine these all into really 3 really good bullet points. And then here is not what I'm looking for. Again, like if you're going for game dev, that's a little bit different, but the average software engineering one is going to be a little bit different. And then why do you bury all this stuff down here? Like this is the good stuff. Why is it all the way down here too? This should probably be in your first one. And then again, I need, yeah, C++ is fine, but I'd rather you say other stuff like that. Maybe, oh, here's some good stuff, right? Developed and documented solutions in Python for programming problems that AI models were unable to solve. Yeah, you kind of buried what I needed. So that's all I can do for this resume, and that's it for this episode. I want to thank you all for 400 episodes. Like, awesome. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to my members. If you want to join, you can join in the link below. They get access to videos a little bit early. Thank you very much for supporting me through these 400 episodes. I really appreciate it. I'm not done. I'm going to keep making more and more. So thank you very much. And if anybody needs help, feel free to join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and right here on YouTube. And thank you all for liking, commenting, watching, subscribing, and I will see you all in the next video. Here's to another 400. Later, y'all.